If there were any plan in the universe, any pattern to human life, surely it could be discovered, mysteriously latent in those lives so suddenly cut off. Either we live by accident and die by accident, or we live by plan and die by plan. The day of the funeral, all Lima was in a state of trance. The bodies of the victims had been approximately collected, but only approximately separated. It was a great service. And a resolute rendering of hearts among soul searchers. Yeah, but for the grace of God. Why did this happen to those 5? Why not me?
On Friday at noon, the finest bridge in all Peru broke and precipitated 5 travelers into the gulf below. We have all of us, since we have heard of the accident, made the sign of the cross and a mental calculation as to how recently we had crossed by it and how soon we had intended crossing by it again. We live in a country, in a place, where catastrophes, which are shockingly called acts of God, are more than usually frequent. Tidal waves have washed away entire cities. Earthquakes arrive every week in some parts, and diseases are forever flitting in and out of the provinces. Old age carries away some of our most admirable citizens, and towers fall on good men and women all the time. But we have all of us been deeply impressed and especially touched by the rent in the bridge of San Luis Rey.
Seemed to be among the things that would last forever. It was unthinkable that it should just break. We've all had hallucinations of ourselves falling into that gulf. Within 10 minutes, myself. It would have been me. So I resolved to inquire into the secret lives of those 5 persons falling through the air at that moment, and to surprise the reasons of their taking off. For 6 years I knocked on all the doors in Lima, asked hundreds of questions, cataloguing thousands of little facts and anecdotes and testimonies as accurately as I could.
The result, as we know, was this torrid testament, as heretical in title as in content. Sheer treachery.
It's but a book of findings. Nothing more sinister. The mere facts of these 5 lonely lives so tragically cut off.
So we may never know their central passions, and you, who claim to have inquired after every detail of their existences, isn't it possible that even you have missed the very spring within the well?
If you'll permit, what I wrote down were the particulars of these precious portraits. I began in the Franciscan reading room at San Martin with a book that is bound between 2 great wooden covers. It was there that I came upon the only copy of the volumes of letters from the Marquesa de Montemayor to her daughter, Doña Clara.
I will write often. I will write every day, my love. And when my little daughter has a little
It must take 6 months at least, Marquesa, to receive an answer to one's letter from Spain.
Left alone in Lima, the Marquesa's life grew more and more inward. So necessary was it for her love that she attract the admiration of her distant child. She existed entirely in the endless dialogues that evidence her eccentricities in her many letters to Spain.
Rest easy, my love. I am sending His Most Catholic Majesty the perfect gold chain. He need never know that in order to obtain it, I had to walk into a picture. Do you remember that in the sacristy of San Martin, there is a portrait by Velasquez of the viceroy who founded the monastery and of his wife and brat, and that his wife is wearing a gold chain? I have resolved that only that chain will do.
The most beautiful girl in Spain, you see, wishes to present the finest golden chain that could be found to the most gracious king in the world.
My mother, the Marquesa de Montemayor, most insisted that you should have it.
On the occasion of the christening of the Infante.
It is the most perfect gold chain.
Isn't it just, Your Highness?
She stepped into a Velasquez portrait to procure it.
I must meet this Marquesa. Be sure she's invited to court. We might pass an evening together in a tea shop.
We cannot possibly entertain her at court.
You must rest easy, my lord. It is done. History may well revere her as one of the few great women of Peru.
Her indiscretions could get us both into a great deal of trouble. We have interceded 3 times to immure her from the Inquisition.
His Excellency has the gout again. I say again because the flattery of court insisted that there are times when he's free of it. He started out, this being St. Mark's Day, to visit the university where 22 new doctors were being brought out. He had hardly been carried from his divan to his couch, whereupon he broke the most delicious cigar. And while we were listening to his long doctrinal address, more or less in Latin, he summoned for you, more or less in Spanish, all the while, in the same humor, the gout. So...
She represents well the reports of her oddities made to the Inquisition, does she not?
My dear Marquesa, you have been denounced 3 times by the Inquisition. And but for the influence of your son-in-law in Spain, might have been burned at the stake. Pass me de Blessix's maps of the New World.
Dedicated to the Condesa de Bure, daughter of the Marquesa de Montemayor.
Who is the admiration of her city and a rising sun in the west.
My dear Marquesa,
Having sustained the career
of this cartographer, your daughter has a reputation as one of the most outstanding women of intelligence at the Spanish court. So how is it possible that her mother, the daughter of a conniving cloth merchant, the wife of a ninny of a ruined nobleman, how is it possible that from the womb of such witlessness is born such wisdom? You have my permission to travel to Europe and attend to her at court in Spain. The king has issued your invitation personally.
Oh, Your Excellency.
Is with the scientist Aswarius. His treatise on the law of hydraulics was originally suppressed by the Inquisition as being too exciting. So, it will take quite some funds to dampen the criticisms of certain persons of the church.
My clever little Clara.
My allowance from you is simply not sufficient.
Am I literally to sustain all the arts and sciences of Spain? Some of your schemes seem so grandiose as to require all the wealth of Peru to maintain them.
It is just too torturous of you to reproach my expenses. I knew nothing good could come of your being called to Spain. It's not my fault that nothing memorable has been produced in this time.
The knowledge that I may never be loved in return is just too much to bear.
We have all of us fallen victim to the tyranny of loving more for the sake of ourselves.
May God grant you the gift of a daughter who truly loves her mother, rather than dazzle her with secret indifference.
God go with you.
The visit was anticipated with resolutions well nourished on self-reproach. The one to be patient, and the other undemonstrative. Both failed. It is almost impossible to imagine the pains Doña Maria endured in order to seduce her daughter's affections. She would force herself out into society in order to cull its ridicules, insinuate herself into the company of the most celebrated conversationalists.
Too often, unfortunately, among harborers of heretical opinions, some of us harbored fears for her sanity.
False fears, as it happened, Archbishop. Madness? The devil's diagnosis. Artistic more accurately describes her distracted nature. Though I know that the Archbishop paid great personal attention to the perceptions of the Inquisition. As I discovered from the Marquesa's letters, even when visiting the convent of Santa Rosa de las Rosas on its behalf.
That strange genius, the Abbess Madre Maria del Pilar, has fallen in love with an idea against the obstinacy of our world, in her desire to attach a little dignity to the lives of women.
Evening prayers, forgive me.
So, Archbishop, to what at such an hour as this do we owe the pleasure of your visit?
I have come, dear mother, in search of a companion.
I'm well aware of the low opinion with which the Archbishop regards this establishment.
No, not for myself. No, my own tastes are a little more sophisticated than. It appears that, in short, the Inquisition has recommended that madwoman, the Marquesa de Montemayor, might not be quite so mad, they say, were she not always so alone. I am therefore directed to find her a suitable companion, and as no suitor in his right mind would have a widow such as she, I thought to approach you.
Although I would do almost anything to obtain the good offices of my superiors in my search for funds for this establishment.
Madre Maria, hear me out. Here in your convent, in your establishment, you have so many bright young girls.
Good girls. Every last one of them a blessing from above.
Quite well-disciplined girls who might benefit from the worldly experience of living with, and after all, she is one of the wealthiest women in old Peru. I thought she might borrow one.
I will think on it.
Think no more on it. Consider it settled. The Marquesa herself will call upon you tomorrow, and I suggest that in the interest of your work, should you desire your little establishment to flourish according to your ambitions, that you prepare one of your charges to take up the post.
Thank you, Pepita. I'm sure the Archbishop has no call to command your courtesy. Such courtesies only serve to demean the worth of women.
As ever, I count the cessation of these meetings as one of the compensations of dying. Good night, Abbess.
The Archbishop has found positions for you both about the town, that you may better consider your calling. It's no fault of yours. Rather than nuisance that is nature, makes it impossibly distracting that you remain resident here at the convent.
Something of a philologist. I dabble in dialects. And I'm storing up notebooks of quaint vowel and consonant changes from Latin into Spanish and from Spanish into Indian Spanish against an amusing old age. So when I heard about your secret language, which one of you is Manuel and which Esteban? Well, let us start by extracting verbs. How would you say, I saw? Do you have a preference for Latin or Spanish? Do you, either of you, comprehend either language, either spoken or written?
From the years when they first learned to speak.
Do you write?
They had invented a secret language for themselves.
Here.
This language was a symbol of their profound identity with one another.
Write something here. Entirely unsuited to clerical work, they neither read nor write.
They do write. Very well. They've copied endless parts of the motets of Morales and Victoria for the choir masters.
Then let them become scribes.
But not apostles.
A virgin's virtue, then, is the most probable miracle of Santa Rosa.
Pepita, accompany me.
Help you pick up the other sheet.
You know that even this work is as much an education for your future as instruction on begging or how to plan contagious wards or any spiritual direction.
Every task has its own tedium and reward.
I know that you value the way that we work here. And someday, it's my wish that you may walk this way and succeed me here.
You know there's a place for you among the sisters. But before you put away the ways of the world, you must know what they are. You will leave tomorrow and take up the position at the Palacio de Montemayor. It will be a burden, I know, but when it strengthens...
Ah, my child. What is your name?
Pepita.
My eyes are tired. Can you read, Pepita?
Yes, ma'am.
Read this, then. Let me hear it. My imperfect letters, you see.
They have Moreto's Trampa Adelante playing at La Comedia, where La Perrichole gives a wonderful performance as Doña Leonor. You should know that I have decided to go to La Comedia to find out for myself. Pepita will accompany me.
Very good. Carry on.
Scold me all you like for a provincial ninny, but you have no such actresses in Spain. And that curious man, Uncle Pio, is by her side all the time. Is he her father, her lover, or her son?
Am I not assured of my daughter's admiration?
There's not another ship for a month.
She devoted her days entirely to this quest for her daughter's love, sending daily missives to Spain.
Be back, won't you, before the next ship sails?
But she rarely received a letter in return. She felt less than a little loved. One of life's lonely souls.
I make no mention of martyrdom, merely marking the everyday miracle that is present in so many unexpected acts of selflessness. You see, I first found mention of Uncle Pio and later Don Jaime mysteriously among the Marquesa's letters. Her characterization of Uncle Pio did not contradict the store of unsavory testimonies that he had acquired elsewhere.
Our aged Harlequin Uncle Pio. If only he would write my letters for me. Then generations would rise up and call me witty. Isn't it a pity he is so moth-eaten with diseased bad company that I shall have to discard him like a soiled pack of cards and leave him to his underworld? Pepita, see how like an ant he is. Send word to Uncle Pio to drop in and see me at sunset. My daughter must know of everything and know it first.
La Marquesa de Montemayor requests you call upon her at the Palacio.
My dear Uncle Pio, you are the most delightful man in the whole world. My daughter's husband accepted.
So I must be the second most delightful man in the world.
Utterly enchanting. Exquisitely spoken.
Years of hearing nothing but the conversations of Calderon at the Comedia.
I hear the Archbishop has just returned from a visit to Spain with tomes of masses and motets and many ballads.
New pieces by Palestrina.
Yes.
Motets by Morelis.
Oh?
And the latest Morito.
Oh.
We should put by a box for you at the Comedia. I have a mind to make the latest Morito with the Petticholi. Petticholi is the only actress in Lima who can interpret this beauty.
Yes, there is a long and flowery part in it, I know.
The lover, Doña Leonor.
That should test our talent. I've had the piece presented to the Viceroy. You will have to press there for patronage.
Your Excellency.
They say you could have been connected to the court in Spain, procuring provisions for the army and inciting insurrections on instruction. Your discretion being so profound that the French party used you, even when they knew that the Spanish party used you too. They say you were a circus trainer and an antique dealer, a trader in Italian silks, or a merchant in many a manner of dissipations and pleasures, but that you have a reluctance to own a single thing. You've sold bales of deep red porcelain from Persia, chests of Chinese artifacts, even Ming vases to collectors of virtue. And although you started a smart trade in pills you purchased from the sovereign remedies of the Incas, as soon as any endeavor threatens to prosper enormous gains, you abandon it, even when making investigations for the Inquisition. inspiriting half-hearted rebellions on behalf of governments so that they can presently arrive and wholeheartedly crush them. An anomaly the Viceroy finds most amusing, sir. Please keep up. As La Pericoli's maid or errand boy, they say you were once her singing master. Some say her coiffeur, her masseur. Others insist that you are her father. His Excellency most needs a little reassurance, however, that you are not, absolutely not, her lover.
I am surrounded by oceans of boredom. A boredom, Uncle Pio, so pervasive, it is like a pain. I wake up with it, I spend the day with it. It sits by my bedside all night, watching me sleep. There are no aims in my existence.
Are there any aims in yours?
My life has 3 aims, Your Excellency. The first is a need for independence, out of a desire to be varied. The second is to always be near beautiful women. I worship them all. They torment me.
And are singularly comforted here at court, I hear, by the discretion of your dogged devotions.
I can't come and go in their rooms. And foolish friend that I am, I never expect to be loved in return. For that, I carry my money to the obscurer parts of the city. And thirdly, I need to be near those who love the literature of Spain.
You cannot be careless to the lack of contempt His Grace carries for the verses of Cervantes and Calderon.
There are affairs on which I would judge it tactful to engage your services. You see, and although I make little use of my position for the perpetual pursuit of power or frivolous fantasy, and I delight little in dalliance, there still is a little Castilian salt in me. For the verses of Calderon and such, and for the fashionably rich and reverential rendition of them by the performance of them by La Pericole.
My discovery of La Pericole combines all 3 of the great aims of my life.
Perhaps you could procure her presence for a little private, une petite performance some evening? After La Comedia?
Donna Leonor in Trampa Adelante?
In all Spanish literature, the most legendary lover ever. The interest of the Viceroy is also assured. And if he is pleased tonight, he may well entertain patronizing a performance of the Morito.
Oh. Look.
For the amusement of the gracious La Pericole, Her Ladyship is commanded to sup with His Excellency after the Calderon at midnight.
Oh, my. Oh. Her Ladyship, no less.
What passion!
Do you really think so?
You know, there is such a paucity of passionate women's roles in the classic Spanish theater.
Follow me.
All gentlemen heroes torn between the conflicting claims of honor and the cross. None of the rich studies in wit and charm, passion and hysteria of the French and the Venetian theaters.
He's a delightful man. Don Andres de Ribera.
You mean His Excellency?
Yes. At least a remnant of one, being broken a bit by the table.
From which no doubt he gained his gut.
He also collects coins, with which he gains debts, and wines, which gave him the gout. But books made him myopic. And actresses.
Give him what?
A tendency to convulsions.
As a result of one of those quarrels that arise so naturally in brothels, his life became too complicated and he removed to Peru, where he found me singing ballads in cafes at the age of 12.
No.
He took me in, wrote songs for me, taught me how to listen to the quality of my tone, even bought me a new dress, but never asked for anything in return. So nothing in the world would surprise me now.
You shall have your Moreto, Doña Leonor, and my personal patronage with it.
That ghost of passion which can make even a whole lifetime devoted to irksome duty pass like a gracious dream was destined to desert them all, it seemed.
It seemed to you, did it not, Brother Juniper, that it was high time for theology to take its place among the exact sciences? That what you had lacked hereto was a laboratory, a sheer act of God, and that the collapse of the bridge of San Luis Rey provided a perfect control? Here at last you thought you could surprise God's intentions?
Coincidence confounded reason at every turn of this endeavor. Fate unfolds as capricious the seemingly most inconsequential of events.
A la comedia. Thank you.
A letter from Spain?
No, ma'am. An invitation, I believe, to La Comedia.
Uncle Pio. And yes, I am to go to the Commedia, to attend the Moretto.
Three parts each for the principal plays immediately. Put the Petticcione's name above the title.
In the name of passion, I dedicate this bull to the actress La Petticcone.
Never have I ever been so humiliated.
May I proffer to His Excellency La Pericoli's most distinguished good wishes and commend him for his patronage of our play, the marvel that is the Moreto.
You may return such wishes as La Pericole extends, and add to them my own humble indignation that a matador might commend a bull to her in the name of fashion, while I... I'm simply lost for words.
Pray silence the siren on that matador's horns. Come with me, sir. His Excellency doesn't tolerate rivals. You understand me?
The vulgar love affairs of the theatrical warehouse can never prepare a performer for the playing of such a legendary lover. The mastery of passionate entrancement, such as this scene requires, demands all the colors of love one could experience. Once experienced, the actress can much more truthfully encompass the required effects into her performance, alluding to the new and rich wisdom in her heart. Recollecting some amorous moment from memory. Doña Maria, the Marquesa de Montemayor. Her daughter is a Condessa and connected to court.
Or something. How dare she mock me in such a manner? How dare she?
Now, my crescent moon.
Last call. 1 minute to final curtain.
Emilie.
1 minute call.
And where's the Viceroy? Why, the royal box is distinguished only by his absence.
Love is an inadequate word to describe the tacit, almost ashamed oneness of these brothers. Side by side, there existed a need of one another, so terrible that it produced miracles as naturally as lightning. Separation was a devastation as eerie as the calm that follows a ferocious storm.
My most triumphant night. Oh, if only you had been there.
I heard all about it, your performance this evening. And there's a little task I would like you to perform for me, well within the requisite range of your charms.
Oh, His Excellency does not find me attentive enough. Well. Oh, what would he fancy? A little verse? Perhaps a song?
Take off your shoes.
A dance. Barefoot. Like a gypsy woman.
Oh, and your poor throat, it must be choked with the weight of this necklace.
Oh, I do so love our little games.
And how can you breathe? Corseted up quite so tightly.
Oh, is that for me? Oh.
Come on, open it. Put it up. Put it on.
What little game is this?
This is no game, my dear. There's nothing funny about baiting a member of the aristocracy in public. It is offensive, an offense, and it must be publicly punished. You will call upon the Marchesa and apologize, and you will make the trip barefoot, wearing this humble black smock.
But I am the Bericciole.
And I am the Viceroy of Peru! One of the first men of the world. As for the Marchesa whom you so roundly humiliated at La Commedia this evening, even if she is a half-wit, she is also a member of the aristocracy.
But...
As is her son-in-law, who is an increasingly important personage at court in Spain. Neither must be vexed, nor I.
What reason have I ever given His Excellency?
And I hope, for your sake, there is no truth to the rumor that you are deceiving me with a matador. Or is it an actor?
You forgot your slippers!
Whichever!
This was the first time that his will and imagination had been overwhelmed.
Which of you waited for La Periccioli by the stage door tonight?
He had lost that privilege of simple nature.
Follow me.
The dissociation of love and pleasure. Pleasure was being complicated I love.
Oh, Manuel, is it you? Yes. You must do another letter for me at once. Write this. I, La Pericciole, am not accustomed to wait at a rendezvous. Have you finished that? Have you gone completely mad? Don't ever think of dedicating another bull to me again. You are only a cholo, and there are better matadors than you, even in Lima. I am half Castilian, and there are no better actresses in the world. You shall not have the opportunity. Have you got that? To keep me waiting again, cholo. And I shall laugh the last. For even an actress doesn't grow old as fast as a bullfighter. La Pericciole desires an audience with Doña Maria la Marquesa de Montemeo.
Wait here, please.
Tell the lady that I have a letter from the Viceroy himself presenting me to her.
Very well, ma'am. The lady says...
I know what she says. Thank you. Bid her wait outside and I'll see what I can do.
Very well.
La Pericciole is here to see you. The actress from La Commedia. The lady from last night in the Moretto. She's outside.
No.
She's wearing the rags of public humiliation. She says, La Pericciole, that she has a letter of presentation from the Viceroy himself.
Ah. Bring me a bowl of snow. And a veil.
Your Grace is not offended by her humble servant.
Offended? Offended at you? My gifted child, you are a great artist. My handkerchief, Peter.
Oh, you are so kind, Senora. I mean, Your Grace, to overlook my childishness. Permit me, please, to kiss your hand.
Who am I? An unwise and unloved old woman to be offended at you. I feel as though you were my own daughter. My daughter is very beautiful. Everyone thinks so. Did you know my Doña Clara, Senora?
I knew the Contessa well by sight.
Why do you remain so on one knee, my child?
Thank you.
One day we fell out. I forget over what. We both said hasty things and went off to our rooms. Then each turned back to be forgiven. Finally, only a door separated us, and there we were, pulling it opposite ways. But at last, she took my face. Like this. In her two white hands. So. She had not a warm and impulsive nature. I know that. But she, oh, my child, she has such a store of intelligence and graciousness, and any misunderstandings between us were plainly my fault. Is it not wonderful? She was so quick to forgive me.
Oh, truly wonderful.
The fault was mine. And the look she gave me. Is it not some mistake that made me the mother of so beautiful a girl? I'm difficult. I'm trying. You and she are great women.
Oh, Your Grace.
No, don't stop me.
You are a rare lady, and I am a foolish and stupid old woman. Let me kiss your feet. I am impossible. I am impossible.
Your Grace.
I am impossible.
Such blind and excessive love, though it gave birth to letters of great poetry, remains among the sharpest expressions of self-interest.
Such anecdotes belie the notion of a guided world and encourage those who derive some joy from the conviction that much is wrong with our world.
Precisely why I persisted with the project. To explain why such stories hold no difficulties for faith.
And this was not the first time that Brother Juniper had resorted to experiment. Often on the long trips he had to make between his far-flung parishes, he would fall to dreaming of ways to justify the existence of God. For instance, a complete record of the prayers for rain and their results. Splendid rituals, but not a cloud on the horizon reported. For further tabulated proof of his convictions, when a pestilence visited his dear village of Puerto and carried off a large number of peasants, he secretly drew up a diagram of the characteristics of 15 survivors. Here is a fragment of that ambitious chart. So, Brother Juniper, when you add up the total for victims and compare it with the totals for survivors, you discover that the dead are 5 times more or less worth saving?
Yes.
But the pestilence seemed to have been directed against all the really valuable people in the village of Puerto, thus totally confounding your theory. What do you extrapolate from this finding?
Only that the discrepancy between faith and the facts is greater than is generally assumed. Though there are some who say we shall never know. And that like flies to wanton boys, so are we to the gods. They kill us for their sport.
La Pericciole wants Manuel.
There are some who say on the contrary.
She needs a letter. Urgently.
That the very sparrows do not lose a feather that has not been brushed away by the finger of God.
Where is he? Manuel respectfully informs the actress, regretfully, that he can write no more letters for her. How dare he?
La 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 la.
Get rid of them.
Who?
Those dumb half-wit orphan freaks with their insane sniveling. How dare he deign to disrespect me in this way? It's disgusting! Get them out of my house! Out of this theater! And then never go before it! Out! Out! Do you hear me?
Captain. You. Come with me. Well, these do.
We will be unloading until dawn. Double quick. Double time.
Come on! Quickly! Quickly! Get up on the bar! Come on! Come on! Hey!
sort of playing exercise. Do your work well, and the miracle of science will work wonders on this leg. Don't forget the prescriptive order for each of the ointments and drafts.
Although always they had been silent, all the world was remote and strange and hostile without one's brother. La Periciole had cast a shadow across his path, too. The coincidences were so extraordinary that one must suspect an intention. Perhaps it was just an accident.
Perhaps. Perhaps it was the devil's own work. Perhaps this, too, was the devil's own work, where you, Brother Juniper, were his willing accomplice in mind, body, and spirit. This is why we are here, is it not? To protect the fundamental theological tenets of faith. Without question, this book of yours is undoubtedly the work of the devil, evil. A feeble Franciscan composition exalting the incidence of coincidental facts over faith. Belief in an act of God. Subversive at best, superstitious at the very least. It invites an inquisition at the highest level. Every copy to be burned at dusk.
This task of memorization is too much. If I cannot depend on the prompter's box.
Come to Uncle Peter. Are you not the most admirable empress of all Lima? Far above the attention-seeking tantrums of mediocre talent.
I've had enough of this life.
And what of the Moretto I brought back from Spain?
Here's the thing. The Periciole is wretchedly unhappy.
Actresses. What now?
In the wake of all her humiliations, her humor has left her. We will need to produce a pair of parents. Perhaps a cousin or two if they can be procured.
And pray, what possible business is this of mine? Or of yours, for that matter? Have you not indiscretions enough for your fees?
Well, you see, she is about to bear the Viceroy a brat. And he knows nothing of it.
This place closed by order of the Viceroy.
I can find nothing nowadays more nourishing to the soul than the notional anecdote that the poor, never having known happiness, are insensible to misfortune. Look at their houses and their clothes. Only the widely cultivated could be said to know that they are unhappy.
There's a fashionable watering place in the hills. It's not far from Santa Maria de Cruzambuja. It's reached by the bridge of San Luis Rey. I will give her, La Periciole, a little Vichy villa in that vicinity. And she can sip the hateful waters during her confinement until her health returns.
Come, my dear.
My dear.
We won't be raising the curtain tonight. Inform the company. We can't compete with the carnival. And neither can I count on us that we play to yet another empty house.
Your indiscretion is really trying my patience.
Perhaps I could spend my hour in the nursery with Don Jaime.
You're mad, Uncle Pio, if you think you can make me come back to the stage. I look back on those days with horror. The daily payment of insults in that filthy place. You're wasting your time.
Dear Camila, just suffer me for a few moments.
I would be no good to you now, Uncle Pio.
You never even come to see the theater, and they all notice it. The audiences are falling away now, too. They only put on the old masters twice a week.
We were foolish to try and keep alive the old masters.
Wonderful, Camila. I was not just to you when you were on the stage. It was some foolish pride in me. You have always been a great artist. If you come to see that you are not happy among these people, you might think about going to Madrid. You could have such a triumph there.
No, I shall never see Spain. All the world is alike. Madrid or Lima.
Oh, if we could only go to an island where the people would know you for yourself. And love you.
You are 50 years old, and you're still dreaming of such islands. There is no such thing as that kind of island or that kind of love, Uncle Pio. It's only in the theater that you find such things. I must go in.
Now he discovered that secret from which one never quite recovers. That even in the most perfect love, one person loves less profoundly than the other. There may never be two people that love one another equally well. Some sorrowful secret escaped me in the piecing together of their lives. In compiling my book, I was pursued by the fear that in omitting the slightest detail, I might lose some guiding hint.
So you've put down every insignificant detail on the notion, perhaps, that to the reader these countless facts would suddenly start to move, to assemble and betray their secret?
I did not intend to betray the secrets of the dead, for those are surely forgiven, even if their lives were forsaken.
The apostles, if you recall, in the New Testament, rightly reserve such an accolade for Christ our Lord. He alone was forsaken, crucified on the cross for the forgiveness of sins.
Doña Maria knew that she too sinned, and that though her love for her daughter was vast enough to include all the colors of love, it was not without a shade of tyranny. She had loved her daughter, not for her daughter's sake, but for her own. She longed to free herself from this ignoble bond, but the passion was too fierce to cope with. How could she rule her daughter, when her daughter saw to it that 4,000 miles lay between them? All she could ask of a god or of immortality was some sign of her daughter's devotion. A kind word, an affectionate aside, a letter from Spain.
Peter, is that a package from Spain? Let's see. Here, quick, read it to me.
My dear mother, the weather here has been most exhausting.
And the fact that the orchards and the gardens are full bloom only makes it the more trying.
I could endure flowers if only they had no perfume.
Pass on to the end. Is there nothing of more consequence?
If Vicente returns before the post leaves, he will be delighted to finish out the leaf and supply you with those tiresome details
about myself, which you seem to enjoy so. I shall not go to Grignon and Provence as I expected this fall.
As my child will be born in early October.
What child? How could she be so casual? Santa Maria Rose. Take that knot out of your hair. Go tell the maids they are all to take the knots out of their hair. And get me some red chalk. Mother, come on.
All be well. Sweet, sweet Mother Maria Santa Rosa of Luxembourg. Will all be well.
And while I am making my pilgrimage, you must be sure not one foot falls on any of the red chalked steps.
At last, the supreme rite of Peruvian households, looking forward to this happy event. She set out on her pilgrimage to the shrine of Santa Maria de Luxembourg to pray for a safe delivery.
God give me grace.
Let me help you. At least eat a little. If you won't let me help you, will you tell me which you are? Manuel. God has taken him into his hands.
For the Captain Abora. He is the diamond of sincerity.
I will deliver it directly. Go with God, Don Pio.
Go with God.
Bring me to him.
We can. We push on, Esteban, as best we can, and it isn't for long. As time keeps going by, you'll be surprised at how quickly time passes.
Needs to speak with you urgently.
What is the devil about?
The epidemic, you old fool.
What epidemic?
Hundreds have been struck down with the pox. And the cup of the angels fairly overflows at the rumor that the Periccioli has it too. Full crochet! Hey!
Gift I ever gave to her. Returned without comment.
I must go to her at once.
Oh, I've tried.
Has anyone seen her?
She will see no one at all, but her maid. And will neither confirm nor deny the rumors that she has been marked.
His Excellency has made repeated attempts to contact her to no avail, save a large sum of money. And a letter compounded by all that's possible in bitterness and pride. And now, this angry little dispatch.
And like many beautiful women who have been brought up amid continual tributes to their beauty, she assumed, without cynicism, that it was the basis of others' attachment to her.
And what, that any future attentions must spring from a pity so full of condescension as to be sodden with the satisfaction at such a complete reversal of fortune? Please, you patronize His Excellency and the court.
Allow him his thesis. I am curious as to how he can conclude the matter.
There are not sufficient words to explain the events that might or might not have been the same without the fall of the bridge of San Luis Rey. La Periciole had removed with her child, Don Jaime, to a farmhouse in a valley between there and Tluxambuqua. And thither the Marquesa was carried high up into the Andean hills on her pilgrimage, reciting all the glorious and sorrowful mysteries of her rosary along the route. Pepita devoutly devoted to her prayerful purpose, following behind on foot.
Dear Abbess, though I never see you, I think of you all the time. And I remember what you told me about my future with the sisters. Sometimes I do not know if you have forgotten, for I would like to leave this world forever and take my place at the foot of the cross of Christ and follow His way. Mother and God, I want only to do what you want. But I am so alone here. I'm not talking to anyone, so if you could let me come back to the convent, just for a few days, maybe. And if you could find a minute to write me a little letter or something, I could keep it, though I know how busy you are.
Read me what you've written. Is it a letter?
I must go downstairs and get you some new charcoal.
I can wait. I would so like to hear how you write.
Dear Abbess, though I never see you, I think of you all the time. And I remember what you told me about my future with the sisters.
Sometimes I do not know if you have forgotten, for I would like to leave this world forever and take my place at the foot of the cross of Christ and follow His way.
My dear Pepita, it's very beautiful. Believe me, I know.
It isn't. It isn't brave.
And at last she wrote, what she called her first letter. Her first stumbling, misspelt letter in courage. It is the famous letter 56, known to the encyclopedists as her First Corinthians because of its immortal paragraph about love. Of the thousands of persons we meet in a lifetime, my child, and so on. This, the last of her letters, is at the very least immortal. Though I know now that her daughter barely glanced at any of them, in spite of their appeals for her attention, every one was returned. And that it is to Pepita that we owe their preservation.
Let me live now. Dear God, let me begin again.
Two days later, they started back to Lima. And upon crossing the bridge of San Luis Rey, the accident which we know befell them.
I'm looking for some strong fellows to go on my next trip with me. Hard work, good wages, a long way from Peru. Well? I said, do you want to go on my next trip with me? That's settled then. You may not be used to the cold. I have a mind to sail between the islands of ice. Imagine the prow pushing through a sea of weeds, staring up a cloud of fish like grasshoppers in June. You see, son, I had a daughter. And many times she waved me farewell and welcome. There was no way of knowing if she was more intelligent or more beautiful than the thousands of other girls about. But she was mine. God took her from me just when I wasn't looking. It sometimes seems to me now that she is away on a long voyage, and that I shall see her again somewhere. So I wander about the hemispheres to pass the time between now and old age.
He was the most awkward speaker in the world, apart from the lore of the sea. Though there are times when it requires a high courage to speak the banal. And so they started out for the far-flung ports on the Atlantic coast by way of the Inca Trail, having trekked the Andes for goods to trade on their travels.
She will not allow you in here.
I shall stay out here most happily then. It is just her pride that I might pity her. Tell her I respect her discomfort at this time, and that I love her all the more for her humility of spirit. I might make myself useful with the child, or take a hand with the management of the yard here. Once I beg of you.
What is it then?
Camilla, let me take Don Jaime for a year to live with me in Lima. Let me be his teacher. Here he is among servants. He will never learn anything.
No.
Camilla, what will become of him?
No.
I shall love him and cherish him and take every care with him. Did I not teach you well? Did I ever harm you?
You are too cruel to keep urging gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Yes, I was very grateful. Good. But now that I'm no longer the same woman, there remains nothing left to be grateful for.
Wishes to go with you, very well. You will find him at the inn about noon.
reached the bridge of San Luis Rey. The captain descended to the stream in order to supervise the passage of some merchandise.
But Esteban crossed by the bridge.
And filing behind Doña Maria, La Marquesa de Montemayor, and her little companion, Pepita, he passed in front of Uncle Pio.
I will let you down to rest when we have crossed the bridge.
But it turned out not to be necessary.
In love, it seems, their very mistakes did not seem able to last long. That was its grace.
And in compiling your book about the people who fell from the bridge of San Luis Rey, what did you divine?
In my final calculations, I concluded with a passage that tried to describe why God had settled upon that person and upon that day for his demonstration of wisdom.
I have read your conclusions. You seem unable to determine that there were any characteristics common consistently to all of the victims.
I suppose the art of biography is more difficult than is generally supposed. And interestingly, those who knew most, Captain Alvarado, for instance, ventured least.
Perhaps if I could have interviewed La Periciole, she at least was in some way associated with all of the victims. Mocked, she believed, from afar. She wandered the hills in her memory, searching for the souls of her loved ones. She was convinced that for a second time the skies had commented. First there was the smallpox, and then the fall from the bridge. These were not accidents.
It wasn't until she had endured significant servitude that she came to understand some sense of the loyalty of true and devoted love.
For 6 years, while I worked and pieced together the lives of those who had died,
Mother.
she shut herself out from the world at the Convento Santa Maria Rosa de las Rosas.
Do I know you, my daughter? I was the actress, La Periciole.
Oh, I've wanted to know you for a long while. You too, I know, lost in the fall of the bridge. I lost two who had been children in here at the orphanage. But you, I know you lost a real child of your own.
Yes, Mother.
And a great friend.
Yes, Mother.
Come into the garden. You can rest here. All of us have failed. Come.
The The abbess of the Convento Maria Rosa de las Rosas.
Sister Camila, La Pericciole will take the stand.
Is she La Pericciole?
She is.
Were you the actress, Camila Micaela Villegas, known as La Pericciole?
Kindly identify yourself. Remove your veil. I said kindly remove your veil.
She has, Your Excellency, a God-given fear of appearing in public.
An actress, a God-given fear of appearing in public? Your Excellency, surely we cannot accept evidence from an actress masquerading in the habit of holy orders.
Your Excellency, I can vouch absolutely for her
Talent or reliability? The more able the actress, the less worthy the witness. Your Excellency, can you confirm that this is... Forgive my calling on you, but do you recognize La Pericciole? No. No.
No. I cannot say that I recognize her.
What? Sir?
I do not know this woman.
For all her passion, La Pericciole had no love in her eyes.
There are none so blind, Your Excellency, who will not see.
Silence! 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 Archbishop, pray, continue in your summing up, and be brief. Please, before we all of us suffocate in this hellish heat.
You, Your Excellency, and I can see clearly now how this plan of Brother Juniper's was intended to sow the seeds of a flower of perfect skepticism.
It is entirely evident.
And as I have never been obligated to go so long without smoking,
as a plan, resembles the efforts of those presumptuous souls who want to walk on the pavements of heaven and who built the Tower of Babel to get there. For our Franciscan, our doubting Thomas, faith was not enough. He wanted tabulated proof of the hand of God, historical proof, mathematical proof. Doubt springs eternal. Even in countries where the Inquisition can read the very thoughts in our eyes.
spare us your thesis on the merits of the Inquisition, if you would. You are here to implement our statutes, not to praise them.
I shall spare you Brother Juniper's generalizations. Safe to say that he thought he saw in the same accident the wicked visited by destruction and the good called early to heaven. He saw pride and wealth confounded as an object lesson to the world, while at the same time poverty and humility were crowned for the edification of the forlorn. But Brother Juniper wasn't satisfied with his reasons. The book, being done, must be judged and pronounced heretical. And with that, undone. I submit, Your Excellency, to the Inquisition, that Brother Juniper here has been put to use to do the devil's work. That this testament, this tome of his, is heretical and should be pronounced for the evil that it does, as the work of the devil. Therefore, any copy still in existence should be burned at dawn, along with their author.
Your submission is accepted. Prepare the steak for tomorrow morning at daybreak.
Is this God's design? The pattern that escaped me in the lives of those 5 who died eludes me, even now.
Will you do me a kindness, my daughter? Hmm? Will you let me show you my work?
God forgive me, for I did not know how to love. I never knew any love save lover's passion. Forgive me.
My husband, El Conde d'Abrieri, it is he who has sent and charged me to command to you all that has been taken and confiscated from the Franciscans in the name of the Inquisition. He does not wish to remove this wealth back to Spain, but would prefer that you should have it to enhance your work here.
If you will excuse me, I will go into this room of the very sick and dying and say a few words for them to think on when they cannot sleep. Even now, almost no one remembers Esteban and Pepita but myself. Sister Camila La Perichole remembers her Uncle Pio and her son, and this woman her mother. Soon we shall all die, and all memory of those 5 will have left the earth. And we ourselves shall be loved for a while, and then forgotten. But that love will have been enough. All those impulses of love return to the love that made them. Even memory is not necessary for love. There's a land of the living and a land of the dead. And the bridge is love, the only survivor, the only meaning.